welcome to Kronicle Konversations by the Art Chronicle. It's a conversation for artists, photographers, designers, and basically everything art. Today we're speaking with Megha Bansal, a luxury fashion designer blending heritage craftsmanship with contemporary couture. Her label is known for its poetic textures, pastel palettes, and timeless silhouettes. Megha, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Kushi. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be a part of the conversation that celebrates, storytelling and celebrates craftsmanship in such a nice manner.
Most welcome. Before we start with the questions that I have for you, we have some questions from the community. We had told them that you're coming here.
Okay.
So there are some questions that they've asked. So if you could pick one by one, I'll ask those questions to you.
All right. Yeah.
What is in your visual junk drawer, the random things you collect that somehow end up in your work?
My visual junk drawer would have everything. It's like a total chaos. It's got a lot of swatches, a lot of fabric cutouts that I pick from here and there. And it's got like a lot of dried flowers. Somehow I have a habit of keeping a lot of flowers in my, throwing a lot of flowers in my drawers and they end up getting dried. And it's got a lot of these notes and doodles that I just leave here and there while walking. So that's just what my drawer is full of.
I think, which color would you? If your design studio had an art wall, whose work would be framed there? Raza, Rothko, or random street artists?
I would definitely have Raza's artwork in my studio because of his Bindu series, which I am really fond of. Okay. I mean, it reflects really well with the Circle of Life series that we do. So, I mean, there's beautiful storytelling in it, and it also celebrates the Indian roots, which is what our embroidery is also about.
What is the Circle of, what was that exactly?
So the Circle of Life is what our signature embroidery is, what our brand is celebrated the most for.
What is it? Is it a theme that you have, or is it
it's
a
like
collection?
It's more like, what our brand
stands for
or is known for. It's one of the embroideries that we launched and it became brand's, backbone.
Oh, okay. How old is your brand? Tell me a little bit about your...
It's 6 years old.
It's been 6 years,
Yeah.
okay. And it's entirely your vision?
It's entirely my vision.
Okay. How did it come to you?
It was not like that, I had it all planned or I sat down and thought of what I was doing. It's happened, it's taken its own slow time and it's happened with the flow. Everything that we've done, it's happened, how ideas have come to us slowly and, while we were in the process of doing it, or, how things picked up for us. And initially, I've always been very fond of art. I've been a fine art student ever since I was a kid. So, I mean, nice. Fashion just became like a canvas for it, for me. It was where, I could express my thoughts or everything that I wanted to do. I'm also very fond of embroideries and the finer details. So I really like working, on the adda or on the floor. And I like doing, those things, that add a lot of depth to a piece, which might go unnoticed by anyone else. But it's just what, what we find our joy in.
Okay. Did you do your further studies and everything also in art or design?
Yeah. So I have done it from LCF, London College of Fashion, and then I've done a specialism at Central St. Martin's.
Okay.
I have a specialism in hand embroidery as well, and of course in designing in general. It's been really a great experience because it shaped me in who I am today, and it's played like a very big role. I mean, they've taught us, how to be experimental, how to, get in our own and, be what we want to be. Yeah. But at the same time, it's also taught me precision and how to value it.
Okay. You told me that you were always into art. Do you still make sketches, paintings?
I mean, I would say now I make art through my clothes. That is where the art is, getting is always going. So if you look at a lot of my pieces, most of them are like a canvas where there's like a storytelling going. So every time we look at something, we don't want to do the ordinary or what we're seeing someone else do. That is where the circle of life also stems from. It is something which is very unusual, and that is what has drawn the customers to us. Because that was something that they'd never seen. So every piece that we do, it has like a deeper meaning. There's like a storytelling weaved through it. And I think, that is where the art is.
I actually love some of your pieces. I was going through your website and I told my team that I'm looking for some lehengas and all of that now. So I'm getting married this year.
Oh, lovely.
And
Congratulations.
thank you. So it just came to us that we were going to talk to you, and then I was like, she does bridal wear, she does all of this cocktail and everything. So I can also look at those pieces, and they were actually lovely. I really like some of the pieces that you have. Okay, let's pick a famous artwork and imagine how it would translate into a fashion piece. If maybe Starry Night.
I've actually done that in one of my pieces. So, Starry Nights has been was one of the first artworks that we reinterpreted into our own design, and it was the galaxy done by Van Gogh was interpreted as our circle of life, and it was one of the initial pieces that we did. Where we were inspired by it. So, and it was actually loved by a lot of people.
Okay. If one of your lehengas could hang in a museum, which one would it be, and what would the placard say?
It would definitely be our classic Petal Lehenga. Okay. I feel it's one of our strongest pieces, and it's inspired by the goddess Lakshmi. Okay. And the lotus that she rests on. So it's like it speaks volumes about the strength, the grace, and it celebrates femininity. Okay. It is also like one of the designs where there's so much depth in it, because there's layers and layers of work going in it, and there's like a canvas of storytelling flowing through it. So it's definitely one of my favorites.
What is the process? How do you get to design? Because I make art, so I know how to conceptualize that and then get into a painting. But how do you think of a design and then you sketch it, and then how do you do it? What is the process? How do you finally reach a lehenga?
I mean, there's never like a fixed formula for it. It totally depends on you. Sometimes there's like a sketch that leads to a design, and on some other days, there's something like you've seen a swatch that excites you, and you're almost you instantly know what you want to do or what you want to create out of it. But like if there are some particular pieces, like let's say if there's a Petal Lehenga, it was, I think, born out of curiosity, because I was always like, why are all the lehengas that everyone's wearing straight? Why don't they have any sort of like, shape or dimension to it? And
so
why
when you say petal, it's like...
So they're like 3 tiers or like, 4 tiers, and they're like a lot of petals flowing through. It's one of our signature pieces. It was also worn by Shilpa Shetty at the Lakme Fashion Week.
Yes. How is that? I saw some photos and videos.
It was actually lovely. I mean, to see her enjoy the piece and, to see her connect so well with it just felt amazing, because you could see that, she was instantly drawn towards it and she loved it. Okay. And she was just herself in it.
I think that's the whole point. Okay. Is there a fabric you love, even though it's a total diva to work with, difficult to work with?
There are days when you have fabrics that become very difficult to work with, or like, there are certain things that you have in mind, or certain embroideries, and they don't come out very well on the fabric that you've imagined. But lately, I would say it's been tissue, because it's like a very tricky fabric. It's kind of unpredictable. I mean, it'll shine only when you treat it with patience or when you do the right sort of embroidery. But when it all comes together, it's truly magical.
Yeah. If your brand had to do a collab with an artist, alive or dead, who are you calling? And what are you making together?
I'd say Amrita Shergill.
Okay.
I think, I would like to create like paintings with my embroidery merged into it together.
And a painting and with embroidery
merged into it. So like, almost like her colors, her painting with like, my embroidery material and everything coming together. And also because, she celebrates the Indian women in such a raw and strong manner. So I think definitely her.
Okay.
The last?
I think. Okay. What do you do when you're in a creative rut? And I want to add one question. What would you be if you were not a fashion designer?
When I'm like in, a creative rut or something, what I usually do is I completely disconnect. I look at, things other than fashion. I try to like, not, I have like, my focus diverted on other things, even if it's architecture, poetry, music, or, just spend time with nature, anything. And I think then, you instantly, like, we're just functioned in a manner that you instantly look at inspiration somewhere else and you want to be doing
Yeah.
that then. So, but it's very important to like slow down and take that pause.
And then you come back to
Come
your-
back to your process again. And to answer the second question, if I were not a fashion designer, then I think I would be an artist.
Yeah. So what inspired you to launch your label as Megha Bansal? And was there a defining moment that made you decide that, okay, I'll go for couture rather than ready-to-wear clothes?
Back when I was launching my brand, I saw like a huge gap in the market. I felt like everything was looking too similar, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to bring something very fresh and new. I wanted to make the audience see the garments from my lens, and that which is why a lot of artworks that we do, or a lot of the silhouettes that we have are the defining part about our brand, and that is something that nobody else does. I'm also
Okay.
a person who's very particular about the details,
Yeah.
whether that's the color or the embroidery detail, so I just wanted to get all of that, and I've always been very passionate about it. I love being on that. I love spending time with the team, seeing the finer
Yeah,
details,
yeah.
and I like to rectify them or work on the smaller things. And I wanted to make sure that it I get to experience that in the atelier, and it reaches the customer, especially the customer who wants to see things beyond the ordinary,
Yeah.
beyond what is already there in the market. So that is where the brand came from, and it was always couture. I mean,
Yeah.
always, because I'm a person who's like a maximalist, so I love and I love embroidery. I love the detailing and the time or the effort that goes into creating a hand embroidered garment. It's a beautiful process, and it is something that cannot be defined, because there's so much detail into it.
Yeah.
So that is something I knew I can only achieve with couture, and especially I mean, couture is a game of an emotion. When you see brides wearing your outfits, and the emotion that they carry with it, it's just beautiful.
So this is how your brand came to being. So before this, how long has it been? You said 6
6
years.
years.
Okay. So before this, which designers were you inspired by?
I mean, ever since I was studying or working, there's one person who's greatly inspired me, and that's Alexander McQueen.
Okay.
Always. I mean, what I learned from him was that fashion can move you just like theater or art.
Yeah.
And it has so much power, and it's more than it's not never about the clothes. It's about the emotion
Yeah.
that they carry, and that was like really the moving part for me.
Okay, got it. So, do you think celebrity endorsements shift how people perceive couture brands like yours?
Definitely. I feel like it has a huge impact on the end customer, because when they see a celebrity wearing your outfit, they're instantly drawn towards it.
Yeah.
And they see that as the defining moment for the brand. Well, but at the end, it's the customers who play the most important part for us. But the celebrity push definitely helps.
So the team has come up with some this or that questions for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So monochrome or maximalism?
Maximalism, always.
Yeah. Have you been the person who, even in your interiors at home and everything, it's
Everything. I'm like a
Yeah.
maximalist. My team has to tone me down. They're always like, can we ever do something that does not have something done in it? And I just can't help.
How have you resigned your store? What does it look like?
So right now, the new store that's coming up, I cannot talk much about it, but then
Okay.
it has a lot of detailing in it. It's got a lot of storytelling going in it.
Okay.
And now, more than like the first one, this one, because now we're very deeply rooted in what the brand's identity is, so it carries a lot of that.
Can you tell us where the second store is coming?
Yeah, it's in Dhanmil,
Okay.
in Delhi.
By when do you think that we can visit and see this?
I mean, that's a question even I don't have an answer for, but hopefully, by August.
Okay, sounds good. So unfinished edges or perfect tailoring?
Unfinished edges.
I thought so, because
Yeah.
if you're
Because
petal
we
thing
do,
and
we
everything,
don't
yeah.
do things in a defined manner.
Silent runway or live painting on stage?
Silent runway.
Yeah, why? Why would you?
I mean, the power that it holds, or the emotion that you go through before that actually starts and how it boils down to, that those 3 minutes or like 2 minutes, it is something which is just, which cannot be expressed in words, because there is so much that you feel in that moment.
When and how was your first runway?
It was the Lakme Fashion
Lakme,
Week show
okay.
last year. That was my debut show.
Okay.
And it was my first experience. I mean, as me,
Yeah.
doing a show. Earlier, I'd only worked with other designers and, helped them. So I knew what the kiosk looks like. But when it's your own show and you're feeling all of that, it is a completely different ball game.
Vogue cover or a gallery solo?
Vogue cover.
Vogue cover, yeah, definitely Vogue cover. Sketchbook Chaos or Moodboard Precision?
Sketchbook Chaos. That is what, my sketchbooks look like.
Yeah. Okay. One timeless piece or 10 trend-driven ones?
One timeless piece.
Yeah. I think the Petal one is...
Yeah.
Okay. Hand-stitched or hand-painted?
Hand stitched. Something, that is hand sewn has a lot of work that goes into it. I mean, so is with the hand painted stuff.
Yeah.
But like, for the longevity of a piece and everything,
Hand-stitched.
Hand stitched.
I think that's what you've studied
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Your brand, I think, falls under slow fashion because of it being couture. So
Yeah.
how do you tackle that with fast drops?
I mean, since we are doing couture, to our slow fashion is all about depth.
Yeah.
It's about like, adding a lot of meaning to a garment, and it's all in the process of the piece. It's not about following trends, but like,
Yeah.
not like, following fast trends, but like making one piece which is timeless, can be passed on from from generations to generations, and holds a lot of value and meaning to it.
Every collection feels like a curated gallery because I see everything as art. So how do you define their mood boards, like for destination weddings or for cocktail? How do you do that?
Like you said, it's almost like that. I mean, just like it's in an art gallery or any other exhibition, that is how we decide edits and like, see our pieces. And I think it's more customer oriented than on how we see it. We see that from the customer's eyes on how, they would like to have pieces defined for a destination wedding or for a cocktail event. It just makes the process a lot easier for them.
Okay.
And it just helps the customer in the end.
Okay. Are there any tips that you have for me? Because I need all of this right now.
I think, I mean, just dress as yourself.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best tip, because like, when you're feeling the garment and you're just yourself,
Yeah.
it just really shows. And there's an outfit can only do so much about it.
Yeah. I've tried a few lehengas,
Yeah.
but there are certain colors that speak so much
Yeah,
to you,
yeah.
and there are certain colors which look nice, but
Yeah.
then like some of them are really different. Like I've realized that at first I thought that I liked the tomato red or the
Yeah.
bright
Yeah.
red for sure. But then when I wore the deep red, it was so different, and I just felt something different when I
Yeah.
wore it. How do you decide your color palettes? Like how do you
I mean, that's
come up with those?
like I would say like today my brand has a very defined color palette, like the colors that my brand is known for, and those are not the colors that you'd be like, okay, this green or this white or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I mean, they're very specific to the brand. And I think it's more about the mood and what you're exactly feeling, when you're designing a collection, or I mean, it's not even just about a definitive process like, okay, I designed this collection, these are the 5 colors I'm going to work with. It sometimes just happens like, you've seen something somewhere and you've got inspired and you're like, oh, I want to do this color.
Yeah.
And it instantly just like gets you going. So I think it's more about that.
Okay. I think while you're designing, you do understand what color. I think it's in your mind.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're designing a piece, or like we're doing a swatch
Yeah.
or something. So we know that, okay, we think, this piece will come out beautifully in this
In
color.
this color. Okay. If your pieces were like an artwork, if you could define it like that, would it be like a painting, a sculpture, a mural? What would it look like?
I think a painting, because every time we're designing an outfit, we look at it as a canvas, which is going to be, telling a story. And that is how we see it like a painting. We see it like, we try to, put in the same amount of depth in that, the same amount of layers, and we try to play around with the colors and everything.
Are there any funny experiences that you had with funny, obnoxious, I don't know, with your clients? Because I'm sure people might come and either comment on the design or how they feel wearing it. Good experiences.
I mean, there are so many. I mean, there's so many funny incidents that, my sales team keeps telling me,
Yeah.
that, okay, this is what happened today. And we have like I mean, there's so many stories that come up every day, but I think my most precious ones are with my bridal clients.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Every time you see them dressed in that, and you see them come with so much emotion, and they're completely like feeling something else. And when you see them wearing the outfit that they're going to be wearing for the big day with their family there, it just makes it all worth it. It makes you realize why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, there's so many stories where clients come and they're saying like very obnoxious stuff. Someone like we have like bridal clients like around like the Karwa Chauth, Diwali and all that season. They'll be like, listen, I need to go get my fillers done, let's need to get this done, that done, and all of those things. So it just gets like really, and you're dealing with all of that. And then there are clients like who come with like families who come, and they're often like fighting amongst themselves, so they have their own fight happening.
I'm sure
Their own
this would
conflict
happen.
and everything. The husband and wife are fighting that you think I'm not looking
You
nice.
gossip that you get on
And we're just standing there and we're like, okay.
You must be getting a lot of feedback or comments from people saying about your design or craft. So how do you take that and how do you respond to it? Because it is art. It is what you are designing. So what is your response to that?
I mean, whenever we get a feedback from anyone, we do take it very seriously. A lot of times there's your growth hidden in it. And a lot of times, we also filter that feedback out. We don't let everything get to us. At the end, we make sure that we are true to what we're doing. And, we know why we're doing and what's the end story for it. So I mean, a lot of people can have a lot of different views, but you just need to know what matters to you and what's important.
Who is the woman that you're designing for? Who's the ideal client?
So I mean, if there's one thing that's common about the Megha Bansal women, it is that they're all very bold, they're very expressive, they're not afraid to try new things or stand out. They really want to feel seen, and I mean, they don't want to dress like the ordinary or like how the rest of the world is dressing. So they're really themselves, and they have a very strong identity of their own.
Okay, there's one thing that I want to know. How do you think that the art industry and the fashion industry can be collaborative in not just the industry, the people who are in the industry? Because we are creating a platform like that, so whatever you say will be helpful.
I mean, I think there are a lot of ways, because somehow, I mean, art is the subconscious of fashion. And I mean, fashion is more like a canvas for art. So I feel like, what can be done is a great way to go about it would be, to have the art incorporated in your garments, in your clothes, or like, in whatever manner. And, the inspiration can be in any form. I mean, it could be maybe you're looking at a painting or an artwork or a sculpture, and you're really inspired by the shape of it and you want that in your silhouette. Or it could be, the colors that you want in your designs, or it could be the design itself, or, the painting itself that you've somehow like reinterpreted in your embroideries, or given it a canvas in one of your silhouettes, and it's just beautifully done with threads and with other embroidery material. So I think that can be like, I mean, it all depends on how and where you're drawing your inspiration from, and how you're interpreting that in your own design.
While you were saying this, I was just imagining maybe like a painting also, in which you're
definitely
weaving something.
Definitely. So I mean, it can be like an amalgamation of the two, where it's almost like there's a painting and then it's juxtaposed with your hand embroidered motif somewhere. So it has like a lot of layers, and there's some 3D texture to it. And there's a lot going on. I feel like the opportunities are endless, but it's just about like,
Recognizing them.
definitely, yeah.
Your brand is not just women focused, you do have menswear.
Yeah.
So is there a different process to designing that, or did it start later? Was it always the plan?
I mean, menswear uh, was definitely not something that we had in mind. Is something that we did with time, and that is when we started getting a lot of requests from our customers. Every time we were doing a bride or one of their families, and they wanted to wear something similar.
Or matching to it.
Or matching to it. So, we had to get into menswear with that. And I think I've really enjoyed the process of doing it. I mean, the designing process is pretty much the same.
Okay.
And, when you're playing around with the material and everything, that's pretty much the same. But again, the same is the story with the menswear as it is with our women's wear. We don't like to, do the same old cliche designs. We don't like to, define it to how a man can actually dress up, but we'd like to push the boundaries over there as well. So, that is what we're doing with menswear. We don't want to define them to, okay, these are the colors you can wear, or these are the silhouettes you can wear. We're trying to be more playful, more fun about the menswear that we're doing.
Is there any collection or a piece that stands out, like the Petal one that you told me for women's wear?
For menswear, I mean, it's I think more about how the person carries it. I mean, a lot of times, even if, like, let's say even if we've designed like a palazzo with like, a short shirt or something, the client might want to, change that into like straight pants or something like that. So
do people change your designs like that? Like, we don't want it
I mean,
that way.
we don't do a lot of customizations, but I mean, customizations like where you want to change the color, which is from our palette, or like, you would like a little coverage, like you want sleeves with an outfit, or I mean, let's say in menswear or in women's wear, you feel like a certain silhouette or the shape of the pants are not suiting my body type, and I want them straighter, or I want them sleeker. Those changes, of course, we accommodate.
Okay. Before we get to the last segment, I want to know what you feel about the Art Chronicle. Basically, as you already know, that it's a platform that we've built for artists, creators, designers, interior designers, whoever, anyone that's creating any kind of art. And we provide them with a platform to network, and we provide them with services, and we build them into a brand that they want to be perceived as, because I feel that any creator should be focused on creating, and not everyone's equipped with building a brand out of themselves and selling their work and making a business of them. So that's where we come in to help. So what do you think of it, and how do you think it'll help? Because I'm sure the community is watching.
I mean, it's really nice to see how far we've come and how the community is now getting together to help each other.
Yeah.
Or to provide like a platform where they're not just promoting themselves, but they're promoting other creatives as well. And I think it's the most beautiful process, because only one creative person can understand the other one, and when they all come together, there's like you're better able to think of the ideas and everything, because when you see someone else, I mean, today if I see someone an artist drawing something, I don't know, maybe I'll get inspired by it, and I might want to do it next. It's also like it's something that we never had. I mean, when we were starting out, and I really wish there was a platform like this that would have eased things out for us. So I think for the coming generation, or for anyone who's starting out, or or for the creators that are currently in the industry, it's an amazing platform. It helps you connect with so many people. And I mean, the community building is really, really strong.
I think you and I also connected because of
Exactly.
the Art Chronicle. Okay, so to end this, we want you to pick an origami sheet of your choice and make either a doodle or give us a souvenir, write something, or just sign it off. Your choice of sketch pen.
Okay, I'll just sketch something out.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know how nice it'll come out.
No, that's okay. Done.
I just drew like a very rough version of a petal.
This is your
lehenga.
signature.
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is beautiful. This is where the inspiration comes from. Can we see it? Thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you.
lovely.
Thank you for having
We're going to keep it with us now. And thank you so much for giving us time.
Thank
It was
you.
lovely talking to you.
Thank you. It was lovely, being here and having such an unfiltered and raw conversation with you and discussing about art and fashion.
Yes.
I mean, we don't usually get to do that
Yeah,
very often,
yeah.
so it was really nice.
Thank you.
Thank